Whose mind doesn't wander at some point during the day? Perhaps you'll have a quick daydream about an upcoming beach vacation or how your date night might unfold. Well, experts say this is normal and has both positive and negative effects. But can daydreaming become so extreme it disrupts a person's life? It's a controversial diagnosis, but some experts say maladaptive daydreaming should be considered a mental disorder. Here to discuss is WSJ health reporter Sumathi Reddy. Hi, Sumathi. Great to see you. So according to a recent study, what constitutes maladaptive daydreaming exactly?
So this is a very new thing, and these are considered people who are mind-wandering or daydreaming so much to the point where it's disrupting their life, and that's really the key.
How much of their day? Up to, what, 50%, 57%?
This study found, on average, it was 57% of the day, but it could go up to 70% of the day, so it really just depends on the person.
And so they were having such elaborate daydreams that it was keeping them from getting their work done or getting their kids to school or whatever it may be. Okay.
And it's sort of like the average person, when they mind wander, they're thinking about, like, what am I going to have for lunch? Or, you know, it's kind of things in the future.
Right.
Or what am I going to do tonight when I go out with my friends? Whereas these people are actually creating these very vivid virtual realities for themselves that are sort of ongoing, like their own TV episodes of their favorite TV show, or traveling back in time to their favorite historical period. So this is very exciting.
Incredible, very elaborate. Now, how is that different than from schizophrenia?
So they're very aware that this is not reality. So
okay, so daydreamers have a clear-cut division between their dreams, their daydreams, and reality, whereas schizophrenics have trouble with it.
And they can sort of turn it on and off when they want. It's not like they're just, it does become addictive, so they don't have much control over it, but it's not like they can't.
So how many people does this afflict?
We don't know yet. So the prevalence is unknown because the research is so new. But this one doctor in Israel, who's sort of the main researcher on this, he coined the term about 10 years ago, or more than 10 years ago. And he said since then he's gotten hundreds of emails from around the world with people saying, help me, you know, I need help.
And you spoke to one of these people, right? You spoke to a woman. Tell us about her day. What is her life like?
So I spoke to a couple of women. One was basically saying that, you know, it's hard for her to keep down a job because when she's bored, she just tends to like go back to her own little worlds, and so it's really impaired her sort of daily functioning.
And she also says that she prefers her daydreams to regular social interaction. Is that right?
Yeah. So also like there's a social isolation element, and she said she prefers to kind of be with the characters in her mind than to interact with other people. So she doesn't really have any friends.
And is there any treatment for this now? I know that there isn't a lot of support yet in the medical community to consider this a clinical diagnosis. Is that correct?
So there's not enough research yet, but this one researcher is sort of starting to, a lot of these people have other sort of mental problems like childhood trauma or other things, or anxiety. So he's trying to like treat that condition and then hopefully use tactics for other psychological addictions like gambling and see if that works.
So which treatments is he using?
Sort of like cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay.
And he's just starting to do this with a few patients and then treating sort of the underlying issue as well as sort of the
Very interesting, but I'm still allowed to have a few daydreams during the day, right?
So no, overall, mind wandering daydreaming very positive.
Okay, good, because I got to keep those up for sure. Thank you so much, Sumathi.
Thanks for having me.